Laser sights can deter threats and aid in quick target identification, enhancing your ability to protect your family, home, and country. Crimson Trace, making laser sights standard equipment. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, fighting for foster parents' rights in Illinois, a gun-friendly option in the latest pastime craze, your range reports, and more. Call in now at 866-825-5486 or 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
I can hardly wait to get this show going. We have so much to talk about, a lot of good things to yak about, a lot of things to make observations of. Wow. Obviously, the Republican convention this past week. Don't know if you watched many of the speeches. I watched a lot of them. I'll have some comments on that. And did it change anything? Did it change your mind about anything? I'll have some thoughts about that as well as we go forward. And, of course, we got the news that the Democrats have their own drama for their convention. Debbie Wasserman Schultz has been yanked. She's been put in quarantine. Well, because, they found out they rigged the primary, just like Bernie Sanders said they were doing. WikiLeaks has released 20,000 emails they hacked into the DNC computers. And the DNC, the Democratic National Committee, was going out of its way to figure out how can we hurt Bernie. We'll tell people in the South that he's Jewish, that'll hurt him. We'll do this over here, that'll hurt him. We'll do this over here, that'll hurt him. Basically saying, how do we cook the books? How do we work? Even though we're supposed to be the referees, we're supposed to be the ones that ensure a level playing field. How can we make sure that Hillary gets this? I mean, what's funny is that Bernie Sanders says, that's what I've been telling you for months, people. I've been telling you this is what's going on here. Will it change anything? Maybe, probably not a lot, but it might. It might persuade some Bernie Sanders supporters to, if not switch to Trump, maybe switch to somebody else, or maybe just flat out stay home. Any of those works to help Trump. By the way, I saw a great meme. I think it was Dennis Miller. Yes, Dennis Miller. And it's very simple. He says, a vote for anybody who's not Donald Trump is a vote for Hillary. A vote for anyone who's not Donald Trump is a vote for Hillary Clinton. Pretty simple. Just pretty simple. There it is. We have a ton of things going on. We're going to be giving away stuff. We have this stunning, breathtaking giveaway going on. I want to get that up front because I don't want you to miss that. If you go to guntalk.com/win on the web, you can enter for a chance to win a Gunsite Academy 250 defensive course known as the Gunsite Experience. Unbelievable. This is like the best of all. Just a fabulous facility, fabulous history there. But more than that, this is the Crimson Trace Gunsite class, 250 pistol class, 5-day pistol class. They'll pay your way out. And not just you, two of you, you and a buddy, you and a friend, you and your wife, you and your husband. Or you and somebody that you want to take instead of taking your husband with you. Doesn't matter. I don't care. They don't care. Take somebody with you. Yeah, you'll go out to Gunsite. You'll do the whole class. And it is the laser, Crimson Trace laser aspect of this. A lot of more details, but you can take a look at it. Guntalk.com/win. All right, let's talk apps for a minute. If you have our Gun Dealio app, here's an update. Here's a news flash for you. If you have an iPhone, here's what you need to do. We keep updating this, and we've done such a full-scale update on it. You need to uninstall Gun Dealio and reinstall it to get the latest build, okay? That way you'll make sure you get the thing that's working right, it's working the best it can. If you have an Android and you're doing the Android version of Gun Dealio, just update it. You don't need to uninstall. Very cool stuff. If you don't have Gun Dealio, what are you thinking? Why are you paying so much money? Why are you missing out on the deals? We got all sorts of deals available. Just install Gun Dealio, go to Google Play or the Apple App Store, put it on your phone, it's free, and it will alert you to special deals, especially when you walk into gun stores and go, hey, here's a special deal. Buy this gun, you get 3 free magazines. Cool. Free bags. All sorts of deals out there. So what is on your mind What was your take on the convention? Did it change your view of anything? Did it change how you feel about the election or about Donald Trump? One of the best lines, I think, came from Mike Pence, the vice presidential running mate for Donald Trump. This was like, I don't know, third day in maybe. And we'd seen a number of the Trump children speak. And the line was great. He says, you know, here in the Midwest, he's from Indiana, governor of Indiana. He says, we have a saying. It says, you can't fake good kids. I was impressed when I learned that Trump, raising his kids, and of course, absolutely wealthy, he would have them go learn how to run bulldozers. He'd have them work on job sites. He would have them learn how to work with people from all walks of life and relate to people based on who they are and not what their job description is or how much money they have. I was impressed. I really was. I was impressed. Okay, so we did some shooting this week, and actually Friday, just as recently as Friday, went out and did a little bit of kind of, not real long-range shooting, but some kind of fun long-range shooting. And tell you what, when we come back, I'll give you my range report. Shot 3 different rifles, and we had a couple of aha, holy cow moments, because sometimes you pull the trigger and you go, wow, that is a really nice gun. If you have your own range report, you've been out doing a little shooting, by all means, share them right here. 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial Tom Talk Gun. That'll get you in here. I'm Tom Gresham, and this is Gun Talk.
Hi, this is Joe. I bought a silencer from Silencer Shop, and it was a pretty amazing experience. I simply went to silencershop.com, followed the instructions, purchased my silencer, and they took care of the rest. My local firearm dealer called me when my silencer arrived. Did you know a silencer is an important accessory that offers an added hearing protection and greater shooting accuracy? It's great for hunters and those who want to enjoy more social interaction during shooting sports. Visit silencershop.com to find a silencer for your firearm.
If you carry a gun, you need training. Your concealed carry class was definitely not training. But time, money, and obligations keep you from spending days at a shooting school. The trusted folks at Gun Talk can help. Concealed Carry 1, our DVD featuring the VADA Group, covers what gun, what holster, how to carry, where to wear your gun, and much more. Visit shopguntalk.com. That's shopguntalk.com. Look, this really is life and death. Learn how to stay aware, how to get away, and how to fight if you must. At shopguntalk.com, you can get the 2 DVD set, including Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. No matter what gun you carry, this vital training info can save your life. Learn the draw, the stance, reloading, vital gear from Gun Talk. That's shopguntalk.com. shopguntalk.com.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
The Ruger LCRX is a variation of the LCR that features an external hammer, allowing it to be fired in single-action mode. The LCRX can also be fired in double-action mode. It features a monolithic frame made from aerospace-grade 7000 series aluminum, a patented Ruger friction-reducing cam that results in a smooth, non-stacking trigger pull, and a patent-pending polymer fire control housing that significantly reduces weight and helps reduce recoil. The Ruger LCRX Revolver, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
All right, back with you. 866-TALK-GUN. Get you in here. Just dial 1 Tom Talk Gun. Of course, you can always check in over on Twitter. I'm at Gun Talk. On Facebook, we've got the Gun Talk Media Facebook page. Lots of news there. We're posting lots of pictures. Oh. Did you see the pictures of what we were doing last week? Sent a crew out. Ryan went out with Mark Gurney from Ruger to Ox Ranch in Texas. You think you shot big guns, huh? You can go out there, and yes, they have exotic game hunting, and did some of that. But Ryan also got to drive a Sherman tank. Yeah, World War II Sherman tank. More than that, shot the 30 cal, shot the 50 cal. And then, we're told this is the only place you can do this, fired the 76 millimeter main gun on the tank. Yeah, oh, buddy, that will get you points in any group of what's the biggest gun you've ever shot. Okay, that one works. Holy cow. Doing all this, of course, for our Gun Venture television show, which airs on Sportsman Channel. By the way, Gun Venture tomorrow night, Monday night. We're looking at how you make guns. We're melting steel. We're forging steel with casting and forging with Ruger and Smith & Wesson, and also making custom knives, old style forging and pounding on them with big old hammers and stuff. It's fun stuff, so you got to check that out. Set your DVR tomorrow night, Monday night, Sportsman Channel. It's called Gun Venture, and obviously the Guns and Gear show is running also. Okay, I mentioned to you that we went out and did a little shooting. This was for the Guns and Gear TV show, and we took the brand new Thompson Center Compass, I believe it is, rifle out, bolt-action rifle, a Ruger American rifle, and this is their new combo. It comes with a Vortex scope, very nice, and a Ruger Precision rifle. Now, I freely admit that because we're moving so fast doing the TV shows and all, we get the guns in, we throw some scopes on them, and we go out. If you're a serious long-range shooter, you spend an inordinate amount of time getting the scope just where it ought to be. I mean, they do all sorts of crazy stuff to make sure it's lined up perfectly and it's level and all of that. I set it up using the TLAR method. That looks about right. TLAR. So we got him on there, took him out, and had my buddy Dan Zelenka with me. And Dan is the president of the Louisiana Shooting Association, as well as being a long-time, many-time Camp Perry long-range shooter, distinguished. The guy knows how to pull a trigger. And so the hunting rifles, the lightweight ones, the TC and the Ruger American, we shot at 200 yards. And they did great. The TC shooting in the, 3 to 4 inch groups. So you probably talk about 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches ballpark as far as at 100 yards. The Ruger American shooting about 3/4 of a minute, shooting about 1.5 inches at 200 yards. For a little bit lightweight rifle, been just, man, how impressive. But yeah, the Ruger Precision rifle. Is there any wonder that people have gone gaga over this rifle? And on Facebook, there are all these Facebook groups that have popped up. I mean, national groups and regional groups that are just built around the Ruger Precision rifle. And of course, everybody says, well, I can't find one. Yeah, you keep poking at it. You can get it. I mean, there may not be one in your store when you walk in, but if you get an order in, you can get a Ruger Precision. Now, if you want the 6.5, that's going to be harder. We were shooting a 308, and we were shooting the Black Hills. Geez, what was it? 162? Can't remember. 162 grain bullet. Black Hills ammo is so bloody accurate. It's unbelievable. So we backed the target out. We're not doing real long range, but we're at 400 yards. And Dan's all down there. And this guy knows how to shoot. First 2 shots are 1 inch apart. Remember, that's 400 yards. And the third shot of his 3-shot group, he blew that one. That was out at 2 inches. So that's a half-minute group at 400 yards. And we were sitting there with a thunderstorm pretty close to us, and the wind's gusting, and Dan's doing what he can do. Man, it was funny. He came away, he looked up, he says, "That is one nice rifle." Yes, it is, my friend. That is a really nice rifle and a good value for the money. I mean, you used to have to spend $3,000 to get a rifle that would do that. Now you do it for about half that with the Ruger Precision, or actually under that. Let's go to line 3. Mike's with us out of Nebraska. Hey, Mike, how can we help you?
Hey, hi, Tom. I had a few questions about reloading. I was wondering if you could clarify for me.
Well, I'll give it a shot.
All right. The first one is sizing die. I've heard a lot about what's called the unsupported case bulge on ammunition, mostly fired out of Glock handguns. But I've found some of those cases in the range brass, and I'm sure I've fired quite a few of those, and I've never seemed to have a problem when I run the brass into the sizing die. There's obviously there's a lot of explanations of how to do it on different forums, but they say to alleviate the bulge, to run the brass all the way into the sizing die until the sizing die touches the shell plate. I found when I do that, I almost rip the bench off the wall trying to get that case back out of there each time, and it starts to get irritating. I've also taken some brass that I can noticeably see a bulge on, and it'll still slide in and out of the case gauge. So
okay.
How important is it to full size a piece of pistol brass?
What caliber are we talking about?
Mostly 40 cal.
Okay. Are you using carbide sizing dies?
Yes.
Okay. Are you using them? Are you doing this dry, or are you using any lube on the case?
I do the pistol when I load pistol. I do them dry.
And generally, that's what you do on a carbide sizing die. However, in your situation, you may want to try just a little bit, and I do mean a little bit, of case lube on there if you want to go full length. Let me ask you a question. Are you picking up your own brass, or are you picking up other people's brass?
I pick it up everywhere I go. I'll fill the range bag with just whatever's on the ground. I've never spent a dime on new brass.
Okay. So you just got a mixed bag of brass, whatever you get there.
Whatever, mixed bag, whatever's on the ground I get.
I mean, and that's fine if you just want to go bang. It's certainly not ideal if you want to have any kind of accuracy or consistency out of it. But if you're just looking for range ammo that goes bang, that'll work. It scares the bejesus out of me just to be picking up range brass because I don't know how many times it's been shot. That may be the 20th time the guy has reloaded it and he just left it on the ground.
Okay, I never really thought about that. I'm careful with rifle brass. I've always thought that pistol brass you can pretty much shoot until the case splits open.
Yeah, if you don't mind the case splitting open. I don't want that. I've had it happen. I don't want that, man. That's not my thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's what I look at it and say, okay, the goal is not to find out just how cheap I can be. The goal is to save a reasonable amount of money with reloading, which you do. But there are a lot of folks, I'm not saying this applies to you, Mike, but I run into a lot of folks who it's like the goal is not necessarily to make good ammo. The goal is to be able to say, I have, as you said, never spent a dime on brass, or I saved so much money, or I overloaded this cheap. And I always look at it and go, there's a point at which you might want to actually spend some money. I'm just saying, okay, that's kind of getting us away from your question, but to your question of how important is it, I think it's important to full length size them.
Okay, good. I'll continue and I'll try some case lube. One more question, please.
Okay. Sure, you bet.
Crimp die. How does a man determine, besides putting a piece of finished ammunition in and out of a case gauge, even if the crimp is too tight, it's going to go in and out of a case gauge easy. When I look at the picture in my reloading manual and it shows the dimensions that the case mouth is supposed to be once the bullet is seated and crimped, if I do it to that spec, it's a tight fit and it won't drop out of the case gauge. And then I've done it a little bit more and pulled the bullet and seen that I've actually deformed the bullet. What is the rule of thumb for doing a proper crimp, and why do some rounds that are made for semi-autos, namely like PMC rounds, will have a taper crimp on it into the bullet's cantilure when I've heard that semi-autos don't need a taper crimp?
Well, they've decided that's what they want to do. Why they do it, who knows? They don't have to have a taper crimp. You don't actually have to have a crimp at all. It's just that you can prevent bullet creep or setback with a crimp. And for those who don't know, if you're shooting a revolver, you can crimp the case mouth into the bullet, and that's fine because the revolver is going to headspace on the rim. When you're shooting a semi-auto, the cartridge is going to headspace on the case mouth itself. Now, yes, the extractor is going to hold it against the breech. Probably, generally, mostly, it's probably, but it's supposed to headspace on the case mouth, which is one of the reasons you want to be checking your case links also and crimp and trimming those. It's not black magic or anything, but you just have to go very carefully. You essentially can put the teeniest, tiniest little crimp in. I don't like much crimp because if you go too much of a crimp on the case mouth on the bullet, you can actually bulge the case when you do that, and now you got a problem. But if you don't have enough of there, especially if you have done any kind of expander ball, you basically expanded that case mouth just a little bit when you're seating the bullet, you've got to put that back where it was and have at least a straight. It's trial and error. I guess what I'm trying to say is I wish I had a way to say this is exactly what you need to do, but it is trial and error, and the adjustments on the die are teeny, tiny little. We're not talking a 16th of a turn. We may not be talking a 32nd of a turn. We may be talking a 64th of a turn. You try that, see how that works, back off, it takes a while to get there. But once you get it there, lock it in and then get it to work for you. Another reason why I think staying with one brand of brass would really help you. 866-TALK-GUN.
Sign up for our Gun Talk newsletter and join the Truth Squad at www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk with Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
All righty, back with you. I got a call from Blaine in Cedar City, Utah. I didn't want to be on the air, but he says, hey, I can help you out with that whole bulge case thing. He said, use the GRX die from Redding. Of course, Redding has been making high-quality reloading dies for decades, long time. I mean, pretty much don't get any better than Redding stuff. He says, use the GRX die from Redding. He says it works great. He uses it also on his 357 SIG. So there you go. There's a data point for you. If you're fighting bulged cartridges, reloading pistol cartridges, you might take Blaine's advice, use that GRX die from Redding. All right, one of the, not a foot soldier, one of the generals in our culture war in the fight for the right to keep and bear arms for many decades, Alan Gottlieb, the Second Amendment Foundation, and the Citizens Committee for the Right to Keep and Bear Arms. And Second Amendment Foundation, SAF, just did something that I am really glad to see what's going on. And joining us right now to tell us what they've been up to is Alan Gottlieb. Hey, Alan, how are you?
I'm great, Tom. It's really good to be with you. It's been too long.
It has been. Now, this is a deal that involves foster parents, and this is not the first time I have heard of this policy, and this is not the only state where I have heard about this policy. Explain what happened here.
Well, we have a suit in Illinois that we filed. We have a family, Kenneth and Colleen Schultz, who have 3 children and a foster child that they wanted to adopt. And they've had many, many foster children over the years. And unfortunately, in Illinois, in order to either adopt a foster child or have foster children, you have to give up your Second Amendment rights and not have a readily available firearm in your home for self-defense. The gun has to be locked up in one place. The ammunition has to be locked up in another place. They can come in and inspect and certify it. And you're not allowed to, have a firearm that you can really use for self-protection for you or your family, which is obviously a violation of Second Amendment rights and flies in the face of the Heller and McDonald decisions.
Right.
And so we filed suit in Illinois to stop this policy. We also have a suit we've already previously filed in Oklahoma that's working its way through the courts that's similar. And now we've already discovered that Tennessee has the same problem, and we have some plaintiffs in Tennessee that would like to file suit as well. So this seems to be a national problem where the gun prohibition lobby has figured out that if you want to have foster children or adopt children, they can take away your Second Amendment rights, by fiat, so to speak, by these regulations. And so we're having fun with this particular suit because this is a great family. They're really good people. And what's crazy is that the Kenneth in the family is a safety firearms instructor for youth. So it's not somebody who's going to mishandle firearms or somebody who doesn't know how to safely keep firearms. He has trained hundreds and hundreds of children over the years.
Unbelievable. So what they're actually doing, when you think about it, they're using children as pawns to push a gun ban.
Exactly. You couldn't have put it any better. Of course, Illinois should have already learned their lessons. I mean, we sued them over McDonald, via Chicago and won. We sued them in Eazell versus Chicago and won when they banned gun ranges. We sued the state in Moore versus Madigan, overturned their ban on concealed carry. They just don't seem to learn. They just keep coming back for more and more.
Well, so what are your advisors? What do the attorneys tell you? What's the prognosis, if you will, to mix the metaphors?
Well, our attorneys feel very good about this case. Right now with the Obama judges stacking a lot of our federal courts, life has gotten a little tougher for the gun rights movement through the court system right now. But this is one that really goes right to the heart of Heller of a gun in your own home. And just because you want to adopt a child or have children in your home for foster care, you shouldn't have to lose your Second Amendment rights over it. We think we're going to win this suit, and we're going to win it, hopefully at the trial court level and not have to go to the appeals court. But if not, the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals has reaffirmed us so many times that it'd be hard to believe we would lose this case. I feel very good about it.
And once you get that one, assuming you win that one, then you can leverage that to some of these other ones. Because I know that there are a number of states, and you listed two others, but I know that there are others out there that do the same thing. If you want to be a foster parent, you want to be a foster family, they basically say you cannot have any guns that are available for self-defense. They all have to be locked up. Now, what's interesting is they also say that for adopting, and you think, okay, once I adopt a child, then it's over. This child is part of my family. The state doesn't have anything to do with it. But, they're trying to coerce, if you will, this behavior. I think it's a winner. I really hope it works out.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. And, of course, our case in Oklahoma is in a different circuit, and the one we're probably going to file in Tennessee is in a different circuit. So if we can close three federal circuits down with this, we pretty much can end this all across the country.
There you go. All right, let's switch. What just happened out in California? I mean, what have they done?
Well, actually, I'm headed out there, Tom, this week to California to work on some of these problems there. They've done about everything. Anything they can get away with, they try to do in California. And this is a number of bills that were passed by the legislature. About half of them were vetoed by the governor. Half of them were signed into law. They were all bad. And the worst part is we're dangling over their heads right now. It's an initiative on the ballot that makes all these things even worse. And so we are in California. I mean, it's really a problem in California, and I don't know what to say. We're really up against the wall in that state, and gun owners are really threatened. And of course, what they've been doing over the years in California is lowering the number of gun owners with all these regulations to begin with. So we have less gun owners per capita in California than we used to, which makes it harder for us to fight our battles. And the other side knows that, and that's part of their strategy all across the country.
Sure, if they can keep slicing it off and have fewer and fewer gun owners, then eventually they'll have not enough active opposition to stop them from going after what they're really after, which is, as occasionally they'll actually come out and say it, we actually want to pick up all the guns.
Exactly. I mean, the movement is for gun prohibition. There are no two ways about it. And of course, the media, unfortunately, gives them a lot of cover in this, too, because they make it sound like, these are only reasonable restrictions. They're common sense. They're not really gun control. They're gun safety. They've changed the whole rhetoric and dialogue of the debate, and the media is not being intellectually honest about this to help push that agenda. But the media has an agenda-driven agenda here. Let's be honest about it.
Well, I know you call CBS out on that, and now I see that this bogus group, Americans for Responsible Solutions, they're doing the same thing that we saw, 20, 30 years ago. They're figuring out that their terms about gun control actually are counterintuitive, and people don't want that, and the American public doesn't want more gun control. So just the same way that Handgun Control Incorporated became the Brady campaign, now this group is saying, well, we have to stop saying that we want gun control. We're going to start talking about gun safety and just what you're talking about. We're not going to say we're going to talk about stricter or new gun laws. Rather, we're going to attack not gun laws, but we're going to attack the NRA. They feel like that's a safer way to go. Or we're going to attack the gun lobby. It's the same message and the same goal. They're just trying to camouflage it.
Yep, they're wearing camouflage. It's sort of like Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton when they talk about, well, what we need to do is follow the laws like in Australia without telling you that some of those were gun prohibition and gun confiscation, which is what they're really for. So it's sort of, if you say what you're really for, you mask it. And they're very good at masking it. And unfortunately, an agenda-driven media gives them cover for it.
Absolutely. I tell you what, hold on, Alan. We'll pick this up on the backside. Take a quick break. We're talking with Alan Gottlieb from the Second Amendment Foundation. Find out more about him. It's SAF, as in Second Amendment Foundation, SAF.org. Be right back with more Gun Talk. If you're looking for a safe and trusted way to sell your firearms, look no further than Dury's Gun Shop. I trusted them to sell my dad's collection. They built their business for over 50 years on honesty and customer service. Dury's Guns will buy any size collection or estate, none too big or too small. Selling your firearms to Dury's Guns is easy. Go with the pros. I trust Dury's Guns. DurysGuns.com.
You're at a gun store and your phone tells you about hot deals. Want to know about special offers? No problem when you have Gun Dealio, the free app for your smartphone. Gun Dealio delivers the latest deals on guns, ammo, and extras direct to your phone. Don't overpay for your shooting gear. Get Gun Dealio. It's free at the App Store and Google Play. Trigger the deals with Gun Dealio. GunDealio.com.
No matter what gun you have, you want it to hit harder, shoot faster and flatter, and be more accurate. You get all that with the ammunition from Double Tap. Double Tap's experts select the best bullets, then load them to higher velocities while keeping safe pressures. Shoot small groups. Shoot farther. Use custom hunting loads in your handgun or rifle. Even fire 2 projectiles with one shot. DoubleTapAmmo.com. That's DoubleTapAmmo.com.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Bata Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
In the field or on the range, you need a trigger you can trust. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. A Timney trigger could mean the difference between a great shot and a miss. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. To order, go to TimneyTriggers.com. That's TIMNEY Triggers.com.
We're talking with Alan Gottlieb from the Second Amendment Foundation. Alan, I just had a thought. I was thinking about how long you and I have been fighting this battle, and this name just popped into my head. remember because we're talking about them wanting to camouflage what they're doing, and they want these gun bans, but now they're saying, well, don't talk about gun control, talk about crime reduction. And I thought, remember the National Coalition to Ban Handguns? 1981.
Yeah, you don't hear much about that name anymore because the name isn't going to sell very well.
Right. Yeah, but what they do is the same people, the same players, now they're saying, well, we're for sensible solutions. We're every town for gun safety. It's the same people who used to brand it saying, we're here to ban handguns. We're the handgun ban, or we're the gun ban groups. And now they realize, well, that's a loser. We have to camouflage what we're doing. We'll call ourselves the gun safety people. That's what it is. Well, we're going to be for gun safety. Of course, to them, gun safety means we have to ban guns. So I don't want people to think two things. One, that these people are ever changing. And also, I want everybody to understand that they've been at this a long time. And we're in for a long-term fight. But to compress that, and my kick over to you is, it may be a long-term fight, but we've got 4 months till this election. And I keep telling people, Supreme Court, and the lower court judges, that's what this election's all about, right?
Well, it sure is, especially for the Second Amendment Foundation, with about 30 suits we have going on in the federal courts right now. And we've seen what Obama has done by stacking the courts against us already. 4 more years of anti-gun judges being nominated, to the courts, and that courthouse door is being slammed on our face. And let me tell you, we already know that Hillary Clinton's talked about, she doesn't agree, in private at fundraisers, she's talking about how her decision was wrong and the Supreme Court got it wrong, and she's going to put judges on to reverse the decision and rectify it. And so obviously their intent is to wipe out the Second Amendment and this election. Our rights could hinge on this one election. They really honestly can.
You really can. And I will tell you, and I'll go ahead and I watched a lot of the speeches, not all of them, but a lot of the speeches at the Republican convention. And everybody knows I was pretty much I don't like Donald Trump, but I'll vote for him because he's not Hillary. I have moved in my view. I've talked to some people who actually know him and know people who he works with, and they all say the same thing. This is a guy of principle. This is a guy of honor. In fact, even when he knew that Ted Cruz was going to dump all over him, because he had already told him, you can speak with no restrictions on it, he went ahead and let it go because he'd given his word. I'm officially removing my clothespin. I'm not going to have to put a clothespin on my nose to vote for Trump. I am there.
Yeah, especially when it comes to Second Amendment rights, Tom. There is no doubt at this point. There was a time when Donald Trump was not necessarily a friend of the Second Amendment. He definitely is right now. There are no two ways about it. I think over the years, he was always for the Second Amendment for himself, but maybe not for everybody else. But he's come around to it, and his sons are very, very hardcore Second Amendment supporters. And at this juncture, I don't think we have anything to fear. I think he'd be a significant friend of gun rights activists if he's sitting there in the White House. And his court appointments are all going to be good as far as we're concerned. So at this point, it's night and day between he and Hillary. And you're right, gun owners do not need to hold their nose for Donald Trump anymore. They should be out there supporting him heavily.
Yep, exactly right. All right, one more thing we got to tell people about. Got the Gun Rights Policy Conference coming up in Tampa, right?
In Tampa this year, September 23rd, 4th, and 5th. And, of course, this will maybe one of the most important gun rights policy conferences we've ever held, considering the elections right around the corner after it, and Florida being a battleground state as well. Obviously that's going to dominate a chunk of the agenda. But we have all the legal stuff on the agenda and lots of things about women and guns, and a lot of new things happening, bringing new people into the gun rights movement, bringing minorities in from the inner cities. There's going to be a whole lot of interesting things at GRPC that can make it a little bit different and more flamboyant than usual.
There you go. And the fun part is it's also free. If you want more information on it, go to the website, saf.org. Alan, thank you so much. You are truly a leader in this field, my friend.
Well, thank you, Tom, but you do awful lot for us getting the word out. Very, very important. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Take care. All right, 866-TALK-GUN. Open lines for you. What do you want to talk about? What guns you been shooting? Give us a holler. All right, we get the email from Harry in Oregon. It says, hey, Tom, I watched some of the convention this week. I listen to you every week, and I will vote for Trump. It says, when I saw Ted Cruz's speech, I was shocked. I was a Cruz supporter, but not anymore. If we lose this election, it's over. The First and Second Amendments are gone. That's just the beginning. He could have said that I don't personally have the same philosophy as Trump, but I support my party and America. He let his personal feeling get in the way of what's best for the country. Because of that, I will never support Cruz again. And it will be too late to undo the damage that Hillary will get done. Thanks, Harry. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's kind of where we are. It's like there's no recovery. I'm just looking at the damage that can be done in the courts. It's unbelievable. And we're fighting this everywhere. In fact, when we come back after the next break, I'll talk about what happened out in Massachusetts. But unbelievable. The Attorney General just, not a law passed, nothing like that, just issues an opinion and completely bans the sale of modern sporting rifles. Boom, overnight. Says you have 8 hours. And it's like as of midnight tonight, no one will be able to sell them. They were legal this morning, and they will be illegal tomorrow because I said so. Well, you say, well, what are you going to do? Of course, she's thinking, hey, what are you going to do? Sue me. I don't care. Because here's the deal. What are you going to do? You're going to sue in the courts with a judge that Barack Obama put in or that Hillary Clinton put in? What's the likelihood of success there? We'll talk a little bit more about that. Jim's in Denham Springs, Louisiana on 2. Hey, Jim. Hey, Jim, you there?
80% AR-15 receiver. Are they legal?
They are legal, but you cannot go into production on them. You can't do it commercially, but you can build your own gun.
Okay, I understand that. I got my own machine shop. I'm retired, and I just wanted to make them just say I made it.
Yeah, you can make one for yourself, and it's a good point. I'm glad you bring that up. The whole idea you can't sell it. Doesn't have a serial number on it. One of the things that Governor Brown out in California just signed was a bill, now a law that requires a serial number on any gun made after I think 1899, and this was all about the 80% lowers. But imagine this, for those of you who don't know. There was a time, and it wasn't that long ago, when guns were not required to have serial numbers. So a lot of the antique classic collector guns don't have serial numbers on them. You get some of these old, very fine, very expensive firearms, and now they're saying you must stamp a serial number on your collector guns. Well, it would just ruin them. It would ruin the value. They don't care. Either they don't know, don't care. I don't know which. But in their zeal to try to stamp out guns that don't have serial numbers, because they hate, and I do mean hate, losing control. It's not about guns here. It's about control. Because if you can make a gun legally, and you can, that they don't have a record of, and it's legal, it drives them insane. Because they know if you have a gun that they don't have a record of, they can't, at some future point, come knock on your door and take it away from you. And in California, that's happened over and over. Yes, those guns are legal, that's fine. Last week. This week, they're illegal. But because we had you register them, we now know who has them, and they'll send you a note that says you must get rid of it, you must turn it in, you must sell it, you must get it out of the state, and provide us proof that you've done that. Or they will send somebody to your door. Not theory, not what if, already has happened, will happen again, is happening in New York, is happening in California, and could happen in your state. That's what this election truly, really is all about. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. I'm Tom Gresham. When we come back, let's talk a little bit about your guns.